In your paddling, you probably don't have a problem with turning. You're forward paddling and the boat's turning on its own, and you're left battling that to turn. That's what we all face when we learn kayaking. The first tool which we're normally taught to effect some kind of turning that is deliberate is called the sweep stroke. Now let's look at what the sweep stroke is. Back in my fantastic kayak, the sweep stroke essentially says this. You place the paddle in at your toes with a lower top hand, and you rotate your torso, bringing the paddle away from your feet, keeping a straight arm, and you rotate all the way back to the back of your boat, drawing essentially, if seen from above, it would look like a semicircle. That is a sweep stroke. And what it does is it turns the boat. Because as you pull on the paddle, you're pushing the feet in the other direction. That is the motion. This is usually the first turning stroke people are taught. And when you observe paddlers really paddling, you will nearly never see them do this stroke. Instead of the sweep stroke, paddlers use, in general, something else. Something they don't talk about very much. They use a stern draw. A stern draw can be considered as the last part of a sweep stroke. So whereas a sweep stroke starts at the toes and draws all the way around to the back of the boat, essentially what a stern draw sort of can be considered as just the last part. The stern draw starts out from the boat somewhat, and you plant the blade, and then instead of doing a rotational movement, what you are doing is you are pulling the back of the boat into the paddle. You pull the back of the boat into the paddle. For a stern draw, you place the paddle slightly away from the boat, and then using some torso rotation, you draw the boat into the paddle. You're pulling the stern to the paddle this way. And you notice one key difference between the sweep stroke and the stern draw is, where's my top hand? A sweep stroke would have you leave the top hand low and rotate like this. But a stern draw has you place the hand fairly high and simply draw the stern of the kayak to the blade. So you place the blade, you draw to the stern, and then you knife the blade out. This stroke will turn the boat quite effectively without killing forward momentum, and it ties in very neatly with your forward strokes. So as you're paddling, you find the boat is turning and you need to place a turning stroke to compensate. Instead of placing a large, slow sweep stroke, simply place a stern draw. The stern draw will open up draw strokes as a whole to you, which we will cover in future videos. Draw strokes are one of the most underdocumented and most critically important strokes for you to advance into more advanced kayaking skills running whitewater.